Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for joining me here today as we get to talk about one of my favorite subjects, comic books. My name is Jose. I love comic books. I love talking about them, and I love sharing them with you. Feel free to follow me on social media if you would like. Links are in the description below. I've also posted a link to the Marvel fan site that I have plot synopsis and character bios for this issue. We are continuing our run of X Factor. I have a playlist which started from the very beginning. X Factor number 1 and before the Avengers and Fantastic Four tie-ins that led to the formation of X Factor. And so X Factor number 33 from 1988, Cyclops is on the corner box, and we see here the Beast has returned to his not original form. His original form was the human form, but the one after he took that formula. And so the Beast is back to, well, semi-normal after this beautiful cover by Simonson. All right, so we are going to start here for all the world to see is our title. We got Trish Tilby making a report outside. And then these guys, we haven't seen them since X Factor. I believe it's 4, 5, and 6, I think. And so we got Tower, we got Frenzy, we got Time Shadow, and I forgot her name. But hey, I got almost all of them here. I hate the stupid name, the Alliance of Evil. It is so dumb, the Alliance of Evil. It's like the Masters of Evil and the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. Like, come on. And these people wouldn't necessarily, they just would be on the name. But whatevs. Anyway, her name will come up later. And so we got our credits here. Louise Simonson is our writer. Walter Simonson is our penciler. And Bob Wiacek is the inker. So after a fill-in issue, the last issue with number 32, the team is back. And we are heading to the road towards Inferno. And so these guys are protesting the Mutant Registration Act. And so that's essentially what we are having here. So, and look at them. This is a cool here. Making a mess. So we're in the Upper West Side of Manhattan. And Marvel Girl is taking the kids with Iceman to get clothes for school. But they're in uniform and Iceman is in his ice form. Even in the late 80s, this is a little like, come on, guys. You would, you don't stay powered on all the time here. So, all right. And so Richter is complaining that he can't get the clothes to fit. And so here we have Boom Boom, Richter, of course. We have Skids, we have Leech, and we have Artie. And of course, Iceman and Marvel Girl. And so here, Skids is laughing here that this jacket or a sweatshirt looks so big, and he is like, I can't find anything. So they're being made to go to summer school because they missed so much schooling. So, all right, so they're getting the clothes, and off they go. And Boom Boom here is gonna check out some clothes and sees this they call it a sweater, but that doesn't look like a sweater. Anyway, it's super big or whatever. It kind of falls on her, and she's like, this thing is fighting me. So she uses her powers and blows the sweater to smithereens. And so even Artie here is like, what's up? And so Iceman's gonna check it out, and everyone here is pretending like nothing happened, and Iceman is about to give a lecture to Boom Boom because she's always in trouble. And here comes Tower. He's going to throw a car at them. Luckily, Iceman kind of stops it with his power. So back at the X Factor ship, They are the ship is like, sorry, you can't go find your kid because you have to take care of the beast. And Cyclops says, really, there's nothing, wouldn't even know where to start. All that he knows is what Destiny had said, that the kid is just somewhere surrounded by bars. Now, where the kid is will become apparent closer to Inferno. So, or perhaps right during Inferno. So, Beast is reverting from human to a beast form here. And here you can see the outlines, but they never inked this. So, but you can see here where they were perhaps going to fill this in with black, kind of like here, but decided not to. All right, and so the ship's gonna try to restrain him. He's still super strong, but like I said, just keeps switching. All right, and so back to human here. And of course, he was kissed by Infectia, which is causing those problems. Now, if you remember, prior to that, he was touched by Pestilence, one of the Horsemen of Apocalypse, which made him stronger. But the stronger he became, the dumber he got. So, all right, and so Cyclops turns around, hears about something happening in the city, and of course sees the Alliance of Evil, which is such a name. And of course he remembers to when they faced him in X Factor number 6. And so he's like, how did they get out of jail? They should have been in jail for like 20 years. And of course they escaped. They had let us know that here. And look at Frenzy, kind of like a reporter here. And so here comes Marvel Girl and Iceman. He's kind of blends in with the sky here, but here they come, and we start a fight with the two. And do they say what her name is? She is the only one whose name I am missing here. But anyway, they start fighting, and of course potholes keep coming up, and people don't realize how how tight these things are in there. They have to use a special thing to lift these potholes. It's not like you can just lift them up. They weigh they're heavy. So all right, so here comes Boom Boom to see if she can help. Tower here is holding his own. So Stinger is her name. That's what it was. Okay. So Iceman is freezing Tower, and Stinger is going to kind of use her electrical powers on Iceman here. And of course, Richter, who got miscolored here with green hair, is using his powers to get Stinger out of the way. And then Frenzy punches his ice, oh my god, wave? I don't know. And so she hits it. And so Time Shadow, his power is that he can get himself out of like little pockets of time. So he's able to move himself through time. It's a weird power. So he can be in multiple places at the same time because they're people, or they're himself, from milliseconds. So we're talking about like, I don't know, just bunches of them from milliseconds before and after. So that's why they sort of keep showing him sort of like this. So he's moving through time here, and he gets Jean Grey here, and Rusty's like, I gotta do something. And of course he was in the Navy and accidentally killed someone, which led him to go into hiding. So that's why he's with X Factor, to teach him to control his power. Here comes Boom Boom, uses her power to knock Tower out, and Frenzy's like, hey, why don't you try that on me? So, all right, we're going to take a detour in our story, and we're going to go to a suburb of Kansas City. And here comes Nanny, and she sends Orphan Maker to get these two kids. The kids wake up, and they're like, whoa. Now, the origin and stuff from Orphan Maker will come at another time. And when X Factor, I believe, finally deals with Orphan Maker, I think Terry Schumacher will be the guest penciler on that. So I don't think Walter Simonson actually will ever do a story with them here. As it is, I believe that Walter Simonson has maybe less than 10 issues left in X Factor, and then he goes to do Fantastic Four. So, all right. And so, anyway, Orphan Maker is about to grab these kids, and we're gonna see why he's called Orphan Maker in a moment here. So you can see him here grabbing some stuff and puts like some kind of dust on these kids. And of course, here are the parents, and they're like, "Run, run, run!" But Orphan Maker pulls out his gun and just shoots the parents, and off they go. And you can see Nanny here says, "Oh, you're just the best little Orphan Maker in the world." So off they go. So like I said, we will eventually find out who Nanny and Orphan Maker are. So here comes Rusty. He grabs one of the sweaters that he bought, makes two holes so he can see, and ties and covers his face up. So he's gonna go help X Factor and says, "Hey, let go of Boom Boom." And she's like, "Give me one good reason why I should." And of course, he uses his powers. So, all right, and he's like, "Leave her, Time Shadow," and she's like, "Make me." So he takes so he snaps his fingers, and either he throws his power like Boom Boom, a pellet, or made. It's not very clear, because he is not like Boom Boom, so he maybe created it from behind him. So it's not very clear, but regardless, something happens to Time Master here, and so the Alliance is Evil is like, "You should be joining us." They had recruited him back in the day, and he's like, "Killing that girl was an accident, and I went to X Factor so they could teach me." And of course, here comes Trish and the reporter are recording all this, and of course, they ask Rusty to join them, and Cyclops is like, "No," and he says, "I need to go there," and he says, "The ship says I'll send you," and he says, "But Hank," and suddenly he's getting too strong, and a ship can no longer hold him, and eventually Beast says he's okay, and let's go help the kids, just like that. And so he is smart again, so he's smart and strong. And so off they go. Great Simonson pose, because Simonson is awesome. So off they go. And so Rusty's like, takes off his mask, and he asks again, "Me join you?" And she's like, "Don't pretend to be insulted." And so they are going to make their move, but the Beast clobbers them, and they're like, "What was that?" And so the Beast puts on his uniform, but it's not going to be for long. Eventually, the Beast is going to be back wearing just his fur. So he's not going to have... So even though he is wearing the uniform now, he won't have it on for, I think, a couple more issues, and then he's back to normal. So definitely buy Inferno. I believe he's just wearing the bikini, the men's bikini. the underwear, I guess, would be another name for it. So, all right. So, as I said, he is smart again, and he's like, "Hey, let's experiment. What happened when my fists impact your faces?" And of course, Iceman is like, "Hank, is that you?" And everyone's like, "Well, you're back." And look at Artie is like, "Hey, is that Hank?" And so, all right. And so Tower's like, "Hey, we still outnumber you." And then suddenly Cyclops hits them from behind. Great action pose here. And so here we go. And we're going to just have a fight here for a couple of pages here. X Factor and the kids eventually beat everybody. And then, they're letting him know, Rusty, that good people aren't in wanted posters. He says, "You act all pure and good, but you're really one of us." Actually, no, he has remorse. And it was an accident. So, anyway, we continue here. Richter, my God, he would smush his brain. And so he hits Frenzy here and finish her off. Here's Trish, like, "Oh my God, is that you, Hank?" And then here comes this helicopter who says, "Hey, quit it," or "cease and desist." And it turns out that inside that helicopter is Freedom Force, and even with the Blob. I don't know how they all fit in there, but Freedom Force, or at least 3 of them. Oh no, it's all of them. Here's Spiral too. They're going to take the Alliance of Evil, and then tell them to sign up for the Registration Act, and they actually do. So Beast gets it and signs it and sends it back in a paper airplane, and so does the rest of X Factor. But he says that they're going to just use some other names because they want their privacy. And Rusty's going to take off his mask. Remember, he was maskless, but now, I don't know. It was apparently, sometimes when these comics are done, the artists don't look back. And so he's taking off his mask, even though he already was maskless. So Rusty says that I will go back and face my punishment or whatever, and I'll go to prison if I have to, but I refuse to sign the documents here. And it says here that where he says, "I will answer," it's going to be in the Exterminators. Now, I will actually be covering the Exterminators, all 4 issues, in one video, closer to Inferno. But it's something that is going to deal with a bunch of stuff that is covered in some of the other issues. So it's we're basically, like I mentioned, we're ramping up toward Inferno. And so we get to the last page. We see Cameron Hodge, or Commander Hodge, here getting his new armor. And the reason he's putting on this armor is because next issue he is going to face Death, the former Angel. And so Angel is finally going to make him pay for everything he has done. But there's a lot that Cameron Hodge is now. So, it's going to be really interesting. So, all right. So, there we go. Next issue, Death versus Commander Hodge. So, we're going to just end with this beautiful image here. So, X Factor 33 by Louise and Walter Simonson with Bob Wiacek. Like and subscribe, and I do thank you so much for listening. Goodbye.